8.2.11, how we determine the equation for a line once we now know how to find the slope. So in this example, I have this line with these two similar triangles. I could translate it up 2 over 1 and then dilate to a factor of 2 because this is a 1, this is a 2. So now, in the last discussion, we talked about how we could use the slope. It was always the rise over the run, or the difference between this point and this point, which we'll talk about next time. So we'll just keep that as the slope. Well, if we remember last year, we used something similar to this, and we called it y equals m times x, where m happened to be my slope in my proportional equations. So how do I find out what x is? Well, if that's y equals 4 over 2x, I could simply get rid of x because right now it's multiplying and now it's dividing. So now I get y over x equals whatever my slope is. And in this case, I know my slope is 2. So that means that this number over this number, or this number over this number has to equal that. So how do I use it now to determine it? Well, I'm going to use this point right here. And what this is the difference of how the line changes. Well, in this one, we go up 2. So my original, I have my y. Because I'm going up 2, I'm going to subtract 2 from the original. And in this case, I'm going over 1, so I'm going to subtract 1 from the original. So now I have this equation and this equation are the same, except I need to have the 2 for my slope. And then I'm going to use also, I'm going to show you another one. We're going to compare 2 of them so that we can determine if it's exactly the same thing. So this one, I know my point is up 4 and over 8. So x is 4, y is 8. So I can rewrite the equation. Instead of using 2 and 1, I can say y minus 8 is the same as, or over x minus 4 equals 2. And you can say they're the same exact format for the equation. Well, last year we talked, I know you've done this before. We used cross multiplication to determine and help us eliminate numbers and variables. So we say y minus 8 times 1 is just y minus 8 because 1 doesn't change it. And then 2 times x is 2x. And 2 times negative 4 is negative 8. Okay. So simply stated, now we want to get all y by itself. So we're going to add 8 to both sides, add 8 to both sides. I get y is equal to 2x. Interesting. So it's a proportional line this time, and it has a y-intercept of 0, but we'll talk about that later. So let's see if what I told you is true. When I do this same thing, I should get this same equation. So 2 times x is 2x minus 2. 1 times y is y minus 2. So that means and that all has to equal y minus 2 because we did the cross multiplication. So let me erase some of this stuff so it gets out of the way. So we want y all by itself again. We want y by itself again. So this time we're going to do it to this side. We're going to add 2 here, add 2 here. That goes away, and it leaves me 2x equals, this goes away, equals y. So this is the form of equation I want you to remember. I always find the slope first. That's the rise over the run. I always start with a y on top and an x on top, and then I find any point on that line and subtract them. Make sure I use the y minus whatever the y value is, and then the x minus whatever the x value is.